Hi, Taehyung lovers. Welcome back to the Taehyung Lovers channel for ARMY all around the world. Don't skip, because Baltimore Day 1 has just made Kim Taehyung name explode once again. Kim Taehyung fancams are spreading rapidly, his appearance covered in sweat, interactions with ARMY, chemistry with Jungkook, playful moments with RM, and his reaction when the stage screen briefly had problems have all become major highlights. In this video, we will discuss Kim Taehyung's most viral moments in Baltimore, including his handshakes with ARMY, the ARMY bomb, Are You Ready moment, the swim performance, Taehyung Jungkook and Taehyung RM interactions, as well as why fans feel that Taehyung's aura has returned to the Boy in Love era. Then, did Charm City really turn into Taehyung City this time? We will also discuss how a single smile, a glance, and even Kim Taehyung's sweat can turn into a viral fan cam, while separating facts from unverified claims, including the discussion surrounding Maryland Governor Wes Moore. So don't skip until the end, because we are going to see why Kim Taehyung is once again being called the king of the stage, and how one night in Baltimore turned into a conversation among ARMY around the world. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on the bell, and help viralize this video so the world can see even more of Kim Taehyung's positive side and charm. One night in Baltimore has once again made Kim Taehyung name explode amid conversations among ARMY around the world. The most handsome man in the world, and Kim Taehyung's meaningful gaze. The BTS Baltimore Day 1 concert on August 10, 2026, was not just an ordinary stadium show. That night created a series of moments that immediately caught fans' attention, from Taehyung rapidly spreading fan cams, his interactions with ARMY, and so much Kim Taehyung sweat moments with Jungkook and RM, to his reaction when the stage screen briefly had problems. The question is no longer whether Taehyung stole the spotlight, but why every time he is on stage, there is always a moment that makes ARMY unable to stop talking about him. Day 1 became one of the most highly anticipated nights because ARMY once again witnessed all 7 BTS members performing together on a stadium stage. However, after the show ended, attention was not focused only on the grandeur of the concert production. Kim Taehyung became one of the main centers of attention. His Baltimore Day 1 fancams circulated widely, especially because of his expressions, stage presence, interactions with ARMY, and various spontaneous moments with the members. For years, Kim Taehyung has been praised by fans as a true gentleman with extraordinary visuals. In Baltimore, he once again showed why his charisma is so powerful. Taehyung was not simply following the choreography. He appeared to approach the stage barrier and shake hands with ARMY. For fans who were standing right near him, those few seconds were not simply an interaction, but a memory they might carry for the rest of their lives. Taehyung seemed to understand that a concert is not only about performing in front of thousands of people, but also about making fans feel seen. However, the atmosphere briefly changed when the screen experienced problems at the beginning of the show. An ARMY who attended in person described her concern. Even though the screen briefly went out at the beginning because of the weather, and I was worried for a moment. The screen eventually came back on and the ARMY screamed along with us, so I really enjoyed it. When the screen was not working, the voices of ARMY actually became even louder. Thousands of fans seemed to take over the stadium with their own screams. When the screen came back on, the audience's energy exploded once again. That moment became a reminder that the relationship between BTS and ARMY has never been completely dependent on technology. After the atmosphere became stable again, Kim Taehyung showed his playful side. He joked with ARMY, smiled, and enjoyed various spontaneous moments on stage. One moment that made fans laugh happened when Taehyung was joking with ARMY and then seemed to be scolded by Jungkook, or as fans often call him, Gucky. The interaction felt natural because it showed BTS outside of the formal performance. On stage, they are not only global superstars, but also 7 people who have grown up together and can still tease one another. This is what makes the nickname King of the Stage feel attached to Taehyung once again. He does not need to be the loudest or do anything excessively. A smile, a glance, a small movement, even a spontaneous reaction is enough to make cameras and ARMY's attention turn toward him. Baltimore once again showed how Taehyung's charisma works naturally. A simple moment can look extraordinary when he is in it. Then came a wave of nostalgia. Kim Taehyung's performance made some ARMY feel as though they were seeing the Boy in Love era again. I can't believe I got to see Kim Taehyung's Boy in Love era. One fan reaction read. Another asked, "Isn't this like Kim Taehyung during his debut?" Some even described his appearance with the phrase, "smooth like butter." After years of transformation as a global artist, Taehyung in Baltimore seemed to bring back his youthful energy, mischievous expressions, signature smile, and the charm that has made him so recognizable since the beginning of BTS' career. Baltimore is known as Charm City, and ARMY found the perfect way to describe the night. Kim Taehyung truly took over Charm City. Taehyung smiled, ARMY screamed. He approached the barrier, and the screams grew louder. He interacted with Jungkook, and social media immediately had new material to talk about. This is the phenomenon of BTS concerts in the digital era. The show does not end when the final song finishes. After the stage lights go out, the second show begins on the internet through fancams. Another moment that attracted attention was Kim Taehyung's interaction with RM. Kim Taehyung was seen holding RM's head during a playful moment that later became a topic of discussion among ARMY. For fans, simple moments like this feel special because they reveal the closeness that has been built over many years. RM and Kim Taehyung have grown together in front of millions of people, going through a long journey, world stages, success, and various challenges. Therefore, when Taehyung made a spontaneous gesture toward RM, ARMY did not simply see a joke. They saw a friendship that had been built over many years. The interaction between Kim Taehyung and Jungkook once again became one of the most closely watched topics. Fans captured various moments when the two responded to each other on stage. Glances, laughter, jokes, and spontaneous reactions then became material for fancams and edits circulating across different platforms. 1 second on stage can turn into hours of discussion on the internet. Then there was a moment that made Kim Taehyung even more adorable when he interacted with his ARMY bomb. For fans, the moment felt symbolic because the artist was holding the same object as thousands of ARMY surrounding him. Inside the stadium, BTS and ARMY seemed to communicate through the same visual language. Purple light. People of different ages, countries, cultures, and backgrounds gathered in the same place and were united by their love for BTS. Stage phenomenon, Kim Taehyung. The nickname once again felt perfectly fitting when Kim Taehyung continued smiling throughout the Are You Ready section. A song can go viral, choreography can go viral, but Taehyung can even turn a facial expression into a viral moment. A smile becomes a headline, a gaze becomes a thumbnail, a spontaneous reaction becomes something people talk about. When a performer has charisma like that, the camera seems to always find him. Kim Taehyung also appeared frustrated when the screen did not function properly during the swim performance. For audience members sitting far from the stage, the screen is an important part of the concert experience. However, in the end, the disruption simply became part of the memory of that night. Concerts are designed to look perfect, but live performances always contain an unpredictable element. Whether technology and spontaneous reactions can change a show. Sometimes, it is precisely those imperfections that make a night feel more real. The name Wes Moore, governor of Maryland, also appeared in discussions related to Baltimore. However, the claim that Moore specifically praised Kim Taehyung on stage should not be treated as fact without an official statement, verified video, or direct source from the governor's side. Amid the flood of information on social media, a claim can become fact simply because it keeps being shared. Therefore, the Baltimore story is stronger when it relies on observable moments and clear fan reactions. However, perhaps the most emotional part of Baltimore Day 1 came from the experience of an ARMY. standing there, surrounded by so many beautiful and diverse people, different ages, backgrounds, cultures, and life stories, all united by our love for BTS, is something I will never take for granted. I am so proud to be part of this fandom. That sentence explains why a BTS concert is bigger than simply a music performance. People who previously did not know each other came from different places, then sang, laughed, cried, and celebrated together. When purple lights filled the stadium, they became one army. BTS still has Baltimore Day 2 on August 11th, 2026, so the story is not over yet. But one thing has already become clear since the first night. Kim Taehyung does not need a manufactured viral moment. Kim Taehyung can turn everything into a memory. That is why the nickname King of the Stage once again feels so fitting. That is why fans see glimpses of Kim Taehyung's Boy in Love era, talk about his interactions with Jungkook, share moments with RM, and keep replaying his fancams. When the show ended, what remained was not just one video or one smile. What remained was the feeling that thousands of people had just become part of an experience they would talk about for years to come. And as hashtag BTS_World Tour _ARIRANG Baltimore D1 became widely used by fans across different platforms, Baltimore once again showed how one BTS night can turn into a conversation that goes beyond the boundaries of a city. The algorithm may determine what appears on the timeline, but ARMY determines what becomes a memory. And Baltimore Day 1, that memory already belongs to them. Now the question is, which Kim Taehyung moment surprised you the most? His interaction with Jungkook, the moment with RM, the ARMY bomb, shaking hands with ARMY, the screen problem, or Taehyung's visuals that made you feel like you were back in the Boy in Love era? Write your answer in the comments section, because Baltimore has spoken, and the world is still watching Kim Taehyung.